Welcome to today's class. So today we'll be looking at chemistry and the topic is empirical formula. Now what is empirical formula? Empirical formula is the smallest whole number ratio of atoms of each element in a compound. I repeat, empirical formula is the smallest whole number ratio of atoms of each element in a compound. Now, what in that sense is that in every compound there are elements. So what's the ratio of each element to each other? That's what we are talking about empirical formula. Now please don't mistake it for molecular formula. Now molecular formula determines the number of atoms, while empirical formula talks about the ratio of these atoms to each other. Now, what are the steps to solve empirical formula? The first step is this. What is the first step? Please take note of each of these steps so that when you are solving, you don't go the wrong way. So the first step is write out your values. Now these values can be in percentage, or it can be in normal number, or it can be in decimal. So the first thing is to write out your values. The second step is convert them to moles. Convert them to moles. Now, what is the formula for mole? Let me put it under here, or let me put it here in brackets. Mole equals to mass over atomic mass. Mole equals to mass over atomic mass, or you can also call it mass number, either atomic mass or mass number. Now, the next step you do is this. After you convert it to mole, so what you do is divide by the smallest mole. You divide by the smallest mole. That's the next step. Then the fourth step is convert to a whole number and write out your formula. So you first convert it to a whole number. Now after you convert it to a whole number, that is if your division number, after you divided your value, if it's in decimal number, you convert to a whole number and then you write out your formula. Now let's take an example. A compound contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen. Find the empirical formula. A compound contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen. Find the empirical formula, or write out the empirical formula. Now let's go to our solution. Remember the first rule, write out your values. So now, what are our values? The first one is carbon. Carbon is 40%. What the second value there is hydrogen. Hydrogen is 6.7%. Now the third value is oxygen. Oxygen is 53.3%. Now, after you write out your value, you convert them to mole. Convert them to mole. Now, each of the elements will be converted to mole. Now, for carbon, you have, remember the formula for mole is mass over atomic mass. Now, the mass of carbon is 40 over atomic mass of carbon. Please, is in your periodic table. Always ensure you are familiar with your periodic table. So the atomic mass of carbon is 12. Now, sometimes you might be given this atomic mass in your exams, or sometimes you will not be given. So you must be familiar with some basic atomic number and mass number. Please. So that is 12. Then hydrogen. The atomic mass the mass number of hydrogen is 6.7. Then the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. I also know this following. Then oxygen. The mass number of oxygen is 53.3. Then atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Now you divide it. Now, when you divide this, if you press it into your calculator, you have 3.33. Then this, divide this. 1 divided by 6.7, you see have 6.7. Then 16 divided by 3.3, you still arrive at 3.33. Now, these are your value. So the next thing is the third step. Divide by the smallest ratio. Now, we have 3 ratios here now. 3.33. We have 3 moles. 3.33, 6.7, 3.33. So we have to divide by the smallest mole. So the smallest is 3.33. So it's for carbon, 3.33 divided by 3.33. For hydrogen, 6.7 divided by 3.33. For oxygen, 3.33, oxygen 3.33 divided by 3.33. Now, this we cancel this. You are left with 1. This we cancel this. That is 3.33 divided by 3.33. You are left with 1. 3.33 divided by 6.7. You are left with 2 when you put it to calculator. Then this 2 divided by this, you are left with 1. So the next step is convert the whole number and write out your formula. They are all in whole number. So the next thing, just write your formula since they are in whole number. So write your formula. Now, carbon. Now, okay, let me put it this way. Empirical formula equals to carbon is 1, so you don't need to put the value. C, hydrogen is 2. H2, oxygen is 1. So you have CH2O. That is your empirical formula. So please practice with more questions. Drop a comment under this video. If there's any question you want us to solve with you, drop it there and let's follow along. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to comment on this video. Thank you.